Sitting next to, we've heard him described as a legend. He is, I would think, without any shadow of doubt, the most famous racing driver still living. He has got an 80th birthday coming up in September, and there are going to be all sorts of excitements and celebrations for that. But even though he is a little lad of 79 3/4, if you were at the circuit in time for the historic race yesterday morning, wonderful race, I hope you all saw it and enjoyed it, those tremendous cars from the great 1950s and 1960s, but you would also have seen Stirling Moss in his beautiful desmodromic valved OSCA finishing third in the class, and it was a very competitive race indeed, so I think that was welcome. So we're obviously going to start off by talking about Le Mans, but let's start off just quickly a word about that historic race, Stirling. I mean, you have never really stopped racing. You can't seem to give it up, can you?
No, but if it's anything like it was yesterday, it was a real pain. I must tell you, it was a real pain in the arse. We come round, we're now on the straight, come through the first chicane, and somebody dropped a little bit of oil on the inside, about 3 guys waving us wide. There's a yellow flag, fair enough. Go on, there's another yellow flag. So it's a full bloody course yellow. And then what that means is the cars I'd managed to pass up till then, of course, close right up, and you have to go around with no passing. Which, of course, in the original days, when you saw a yellow, it just meant that you waited till you could see the shunt and then miss it. But now, of course, they all think we're so bloody stupid we don't know where it is, you know. Anyway, you go past this and go a whole way round with this damn yellow. And I mean, the race was only, what, 7 or 8 laps, I don't know, anyway, very, very short. I found that very, very frustrating.
In that year, 1955, you drove the 300 SLR Mercedes at the sports car races. You drove, of course, the W196 in the Grand Prix with Fangio, and you won the Mille Miglia, you won the Targa Florio, you won just about everything in sports cars.
And the TT, yes, I did. Yeah, but the Mille Miglia is a remarkable race. I mean, it's 1,000 miles around Italy, and there was no way that you're going to learn 1,000 miles. I mean, I don't know how many corners there were, but obviously multi thousands. And because I didn't know where I was going, I took a co-driver, or a navigator actually, called Dennis Jenkinson, who had been 3 times world champion in a sidecar. Now, anybody who's stupid enough to go in a sidecar, I thought, wouldn't get nervous in a car. But in reality, I said to Jinx after the thing, I said, "Would you come with me in an MG?" He said, "Christ, no." I said, "Well, why not?" He said, "Well, I know how to drive an MG." He said, "I have no idea how to drive an SLR." He said, "I want to see how it was done." So he was a weird bloke. And in many, many ways, I mean, he invited a friend of his to come down. They had I don't know if you know this one, they had a new car was being announced somewhere down where near Jenks lived in this little hovel, and he invited Alan Henry, I think it was, down to come down so they could go the next day. And so he cooked some breakfast and he gave it to Alan, and Alan's sitting down eating it, and he looked up and Jenks was over by the washing up place and eating. He said, aren't you going to join me?" He said, "I can't." He said, "Why not?" He said, "You've got the plate." And in fact, Susie asked him, said, "Is this true?" He said, "Of course, why should I have more? There's only me." I mean, so you can see, pretty weird. But anyway.
He was one of the great eccentrics. Do you think it's a shame, Stirling, that now... Okay, well, there it is. Yeah.
It's a bit bent.
Obviously, it's a left-hand drive car, and you can see little Jenks, because he was only about 5'0", in the passenger seat. And tell us, why is the car dented at the front?
I hit something. The reason it was dented